Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hometown Musician Spotlight. We're coming to you from the Thunderclap Studios of John Carpenter in Hammond, Indiana, where my guests tonight do their thing when they're not on stage. My guests tonight are the Nomad Planets. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for letting me be here. And you guys are just coming off your fresh performance Saturday night, which was the bomb, I might say. But so, John, thanks for having us here.
Certainly.
John, if you don't mind, we like to kind of get into everybody's rock and roll roots, and let's just start with you since you're the home team here. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? And what got you hooked on some music?
Here in Hammond, that's where I was born and grew up, and got into music. Like so many people, when the Beatles came about. My older sister, who was 6 years older than I am, she was in high school at that time, and had her boyfriends over, and I can still remember watching the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and sitting there just being like totally amazed. And of course, like so many people have said, wanted to go out and get a guitar immediately after that, but didn't. But eventually talked my parents into getting me a guitar, but they didn't know anything about guitars, so they got me a really cheap guitar that was impossible to play, and so I didn't really stick with it as a kid. It wasn't until I got to college that I really started. I had this female friend of mine that had a really nice guitar. She let me borrow it, and it was like, oh, this is what a guitar is like, a good guitar, and that's when I really started getting serious about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Terry, our drummer, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Wonderful.
good.
The best dressed drummer I've heard and seen.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
for
Appreciate
sure.
that.
Gotta give you the props on that. But
As I tell Mark, I'm a Beau Brummel.
oh,
That might be
we're talking
really
60s.
between us, because that's a very weird moniker. Sharp dressed man.
It's happened though. Yes, that has happened.
So where were you born, Terry?
I'm a native New Yorker,
Ah,
and I was born in the last century, early on in the last century. So my music roots go way before Beatles, because I had older brothers who were always playing music. And my dad was a drummer in his early days. And then he went on to steadier incomes, thank God, because we lived a good life, thanks to him. But there was always a drum set around, so I just loved playing drums. And then the Beatles came out, and I went, oh, I get it. This is what you do for a living. I thought it was just, fun, And that's pretty much what sold me.
yes.
And stayed around in New York, but New York was a little too crazy on the music scene. So moved to California, hitchhiked actually with a duffel bag to get there. Two of my brothers who lived there, and LA and music, that was the deal, man.
What year did you do that? Did you hitch?
Right after Woodstock, summer of '69.
So you did the Kerouacian thing.
Yes,
Nice.
he
I did not know
was
that.
one of my heroes.
Yeah. We're going to come back to you in a minute, Chris. Phil,
Yes.
No shit.
how about you?
Oh, thanks. I was born in Hammond. I live in Whiting now, but geez, my whole family was fairly musical. My dad was a big band jazz DJ in Chicago in the 50s and 60s at CFL and WGN, and so music always in his house. He always bringing albums home.
I was just going to say, you probably had tons of records.
You'd always get the DJ copies of every new release coming out from all the companies that would send. So we had new music there all the time. Usually my elder sister, Nancy, would swipe all the good ones first, but that's all right. I caught up. But anyway, my brothers, our brother Larry is he's a classical composer, writes musical kind of stuff. But yeah, and so with music always being around, it was always, from all the soundtracks and musicals and rock and roll. I got a lot of influence from all different sides, and originally started out in guitar in like mid '60s, and then I didn't last too long. Same thing, bad guitar. And I was like, this thing's too heavy.
It makes such a difference.
It does. And so like in the early '70s, I got into bass. My dad got me a 73P bass from this music store up in Chicago somewhere, some guys he knew, and it's like that started it all, and been playing ever since.
Still have that bass by any chance?
No, I actually sold it. It was stupid, but yeah, I had it converted to a fretless for $100 for Henry J's music store in downtown Hammond. I don't know who he shipped it out to. They did a real nice job. They popped the frets off, filled it in with this wood filler, sanded it all down. It was my first fretless. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? But yeah, so I had to learn how to play that. So,
And you mastered it, by the way.
why, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank
There's some pounding going on. It doesn't look like it, but there's some sounds coming.
There's some serious
I
business
like to
going
call
on.
it thumping, but boom. But
Old thumper, right?
yeah, that's right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been just it's been fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun playing with these guys, playing with different guitars, playing different styles of stuff. It's just such a musical trip that you'll never reach the end of. So,
How about you, Mark? Let's hear your story.
I was born in Gary and grew up in Crown Point until I was 8, and then Hammond after that. My grandmother had a grand piano in her house, and so she taught music in the Chicago school system and at the house. So I was tinkered around with piano. Took lessons when I was young, but never really wanted to follow any kind of scripts, and so I didn't. It got boring to me because they wanted me to do things I didn't want to do and follow instructions that I didn't want to follow. Yeah. Hard to believe, right? And so then I started playing organ because my dad had an organ, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I didn't play guitar until college, and I just started banging around on it, which is what I still do. I've just gotten better at banging around on it after 40 years, more skill for banging. Started writing late for that kind of thing. Well, I should say, I quit college for ended up being just a semester, but it was like a friend of mine and I were going to start a band. Yeah. And then I realized that I had to go to work to do that. And so I went back to school, but we started writing really bad songs, which is a good thing to do when you start writing. And then met Phil, started writing more regular kind of songs, met John, and here we are.
Beautiful. Chris Grove.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
All right. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you got to be...
Well, these guys, they were first influenced by the Beatles.
Monkeys.
For me, I heard Nomad Planets, and that was my big influence. Like that. So what was the question?
Basically, where you born, where you grew up, and kind of how you got your musical influence.
I was born in Pennsylvania, and my grandmother played. Music was big in the house.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play piano. I loved Liberace when I was a little kid. You know, he had the variety show on, and then I saw Elton on Sonny and Cher in 72, 74, something like that. It's like, it was just great. And, listening to Brubeck and all the jazz stuff, all the, I think we all, I think music grabbed all our ears, something that was interesting about it, no matter where it came from. It grabbed all of us, and we've begun,
Well, you and I have had the pleasure to talk before, July of last year, before Nomad Planets show at the old Northwood. We had a chance to talk, and you said at that time that it's original music, which is really driving your desire nowadays. And for somebody
It
who's
is.
toured the country hundreds of times, my question: when a new instrument comes to the band, and in your case a keyboard, does the band go over older songs that they've done and see how you can, forgive the word, embellish them, as well as then also collaborating on new stuff, a little bit of both? Or what is it like?
Well, when they called me, when
when
Mark called me, they wanted to do a previous album in its entirety. And they had a keyboard player, Chris Hussery, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there was keyboards all over this album, and they wanted to do it. So Mark called me and asked if I would be interested. And I had heard these guys just a couple of times, but it was so interesting and so cool to my ear. You know, obviously Boylan, the pocket of the pocket, and then Phil, who was born to play bass, and then the great lyrics of Mark and the instrumentation of John. It's just really, really good. And it was like, yeah, I'll come play. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. I like at this point, expression is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
Really.
We're going to go back in the discography a little bit, back to 1998. Well, did the Jupiters, I forget the first,
Whistling Jupiter.
the Whistling Jupiters, they preceded the Nomad Planets?
Yeah, so Phil and I met at a place that we were working together, and hit it off right away. And we liked a lot of the same music, had the same influences, and so we just started to play stuff together. And I don't know, neither of us had really kind of explored writing material on a regular basis,
Right.
or on a more what's the word I'm looking for? Not a regular.
I mean, I came from a band, Left, Right, Left.
Yeah, he came from a band.
And we were doing
German band, right?
Yeah, we were doing a bunch of, it was in the 80s, 86, 87, guys out of Riverdale and stuff. We were doing a bunch of new wave stuff, a lot of covers, and it was fun. Yeah, good stuff, good music, and but trying to write original stuff, and then it split up like some of the other bands. And Mark and I got together in 88,
88, something like that.
Yeah, 86, 87, whatever, 80. We'll go with 88.
We'll go to 88.
And yeah, we were just like, he was telling me about stuff he liked. I told him about stuff I liked. And I play guitar, and I said, well, I play bass. And we kind of got together with my ex-wife Karen. She sang and played a bit of guitar and had a drumulator or whatever, and a little Tascam. So we kind of get together and kind of program the drum machine and go at it, and came up with some interesting stuff. And then
and we gelled right away as from a playing perspective. We never talked about, hey, we need to sound like this, we need to do that. We just started playing, and that's what's great about this band. We don't ever talk about, like, let's sound like X, Y. We got to write a song in the vein of, we just do what we do, and it's a wonderful language that we all have.
Well, to your point, I remembered after the first 2 times I saw you a couple of years ago, I told a couple of friends, or I may have even put it on Facebook, but I said it's the best band that you've never seen. And it was more of a challenge to my friends, because once you hear your kind of music, you're not going to hear that in most places. You want something fresh and new and catchy, you've got it. Help me pronounce the new album, which this new CD, I still can't.
Abacu.
Abacu.
Yeah, outside Abacu.
Oh, yeah. Tremendous CD. And so who were the main songwriters, and and who I can look at the back of the CD I have, but
I thought of everything and did everything.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Thank you, Terry.
No,
okay,
back,
useful
back
or
in the,
dismissed.
back,
No,
back in
no.
the early days,
Yeah.
when Phil and I were doing stuff, we would collaborate. But I wrote a lot of the stuff, and then he would add, and we would add stuff to it. The first couple Nomad Planets records, I wrote most everything at that time, other than one tune that we all collaborated and with Drew, our old drummer. But from that point forward, it became just all of us doing whatever it ended up being. And especially Rise and Shine onward, it's all of us. It doesn't really matter who does what.
Yeah.
It just, everybody's contributing,
Yeah.
and there's no main songwriting person.
Usually happens right here on
Yeah.
Tuesday nights.
Right.
Yeah. So
After
between Jupiter and Nomad Planets, which one of these guys has the solar system fetish?
Oh yeah, we did listening Jupiters in what did we do? That was that 91 or 90?
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
It was Mark and I and Ed McGrady in drums and
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh Bartunek on guitar.
and originally Eric.
Oh, Eric Lambert. Yeah, Eric Lambert. When we first started playing, we knew another guy from where we worked. Ed was a drummer, but we didn't really have a guitar player that could actually play guitar. So Eric,
was really handy.
yeah, I did. So Eric played with us our first live gigs for probably the first 5, 6, 7 maybe gigs, something like that, until John started playing live with us.
So John, first album produced right here, 1998.
1998 or 99?
1999. I keep getting that
So-
year wrong.
I think it's 99, actually.
How did you feel going into that? And then, years later, as you look back at that, how do you feel about all the albums you guys have put out?
Oh, I feel good about it. It's been a constant learning experience, and that's what I love about it, with, trying to learn this craft of recording, and being with these guys who are such great musicians and have so much to offer musically and lyrically. It's just it's been a great learning experience, and yes,
We did that. The first album was John playing with us on that?
Yeah, so we had recorded with some Jupiter stuff here. We had recorded some solo cassettes that I did. It was the same basic us here. And then at that point, we had become friends. And so John started playing on that first, the Indestructible drop record. And then from that point forward is when we were doing live stuff. Because you never played Jupiter stuff. Yeah. No. So yeah, from that point forward. So from 1999, as we started playing live, that's when the three of us started, which is, Jesus, man, 26 years ago.
Yeah.
It was pretty often I listen to 103.9 X Rock and hear a lot of local bands. My sister's amazed. She comes from Florida, so I can't believe the local radio station is not programmed, that way. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
it is very cool, and I hear Nomad Planets quite often. What was it like back in the day when, you and your family might have heard your song on the radio? What's that feeling like?
Well, hearing your song on the radio is a big treat. It always has been, and it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Just run home and make sure we got that fresh cassette tape ready.
Yeah.
And you guys were on Jupiter's on what was that, Q101?
Q101 XRT.
Yeah.
The local stuff now.
I missed that thing.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. It's just
No, we were.
yeah. I went Jupiter.
No. It was after the end, because Chinese Telephone in San Diego were on XRT.
Oh, that's right.
Don't
Cool.
sell yourself short there, Fred.
No,
It is kind of otherworldly. I was in a band called Big Guitars from Memphis, and we traveled Europe a lot, and we were on a ferry going from Denmark to Norway, sitting there just at lunch, chowing and listening. And I go, wow, that song's, hey, listen to that's a cool song. And oh man, those guys are grooving. And I went, oh my God. And the vocals came in and I went, holy shit, that's us guys.
Wow.
I was like a kid at Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow,
Yeah.
I've arrived.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine.
I've arrived in the Baltic Sea.
How hard is it for?
It's better in the Baltics. I'm hot on the North Sea.
This is probably a question I could ask any band, but how hard is it to get 5 guys together once a week for practice? Is it difficult, or does it get easier when we get up in our age category?
Chris and I are wiggly snakes. These guys are true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but when we've been coming here for 28 years every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other than COVID year, that was. But no, you guys are here all.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
you're a
difficult
lot.
if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's pulling teeth.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's not a task.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we have so much fun, man. And
Yeah.
It's a ball.
Yeah.
Like they were saying about the songs, I think other than the instrumental, I think we all had hands in every one of those songs on the Abiquiu album, for sure. I mean, somebody has this section, and somebody comes up with that idea. So it is a collective. There is no doubt about that.
Well, and some of those songs were written before Chris really played on them. We wrote them a long time ago, and him coming in and doing what he did changed the whole tenor of some of those tunes, where it was like, oh, we didn't know it was supposed to be like this, but yes, it is supposed to be like this.
Yeah, Chris adds a whole nother universe to our
Beyond the Pale.
Interstellar.
There we go with that sky shit, man.
Beyond the Pale was, I think, the first one where you came in and started. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
more, please, more.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's everybody.
Well, these guys have such great influence of the music, and some of the stuff they were listening to in prime time, I might have been 5 minutes behind them. But their influences comes through on so much. I mean, how Mick Karn was big in Japan was on you, and some of the cats in the late 70s. I mean, it's all stuff we heard, but where they come from and how they create tunes and where their ears and their heads are at is nothing that you're not gonna run into that in a lot of situations. It's gonna be a little bit more mainstream. So the stuff that these guys pull from and where they're from is stuff that I love too. So, to come in and play with these cats and it's like, it's got that twist to it, I mean, it's there's things where I'm not even coming in till the chorus, it's a single note thing. It's not some thing, it's about the parts, the sum of the parts. And that's awesome. That is awesome.
No ego.
No, there ain't no
It's
bullshit.
as cliche as it is. It's all about the song.
Yeah.
It's not about,
I do
playing more notes.
Yeah. I do have a personal favorite off that one. I love Settle This at Sunrise. It seemed like the other night, there was a little extra intro before that song started. Was it just me? Because I already love the way it ends, But that just happens. Can you maybe tell me how
That was a little different.
Yes.
Because you two guys were tuning up,
Yeah.
and
It seemed like a little bit of an intro before that song started.
a little bit longer than,
Yeah.
and I politely wait till guys tune up, because there's nothing worse than somebody's tuning up and somebody goes, and they start the song, and it's like, couldn't you see that I was a little busy? You couldn't wait,
Yeah.
And Mark was turning his head, I'm going,
He's always like,
yeah. So I didn't pay much attention, and he goes, go ahead and start it. Giving me just jam away, so.
The song is so catchy. Just really love it. Well, the last 2 songs I like to ask everybody. last two questions I like to ask everybody. More kind of fun questions. Chris might know what's coming up, but if you could trade places with any other musician, or in some cases nudge somebody out of a band and take their place for a whole weekend, Past or present, is there anybody you wish you could trade places with?
Well, I've got a list that long. I mean, Neil Young would be one. I'd get a kick out of that.
I remember Chris saying if he had a voice like Ronnie James Dio, if you had a couple more octaves, I think you mentioned.
You know, I need it. I don't. Yeah, well, you know, I think that's an interesting. I think we all dig what we're doing. I mean, if you could sit there and have the ability that maybe somebody else
just
has,
just to live their life maybe for a whole week, be that whole person, you know, and actually be John Lennon or whoever it might be.
I'll sing Mob Rules all day. That would be good.
Okay, there you go.
That would be good.
Any other stabs at that one?
My mind's a blank.
Yeah.
But that's
All right.
nothing new.
The last question is again, more hypothetical, but if there is one room in the world, any one place, past or present, that you wish you could just play in at least once, where would that be?
For me, Fillmore East.
Okay.
You know, because I grew up in New York and saw every band in the world. I mean, saw Led Zeppelin play there. They were the opening act, and the Yardbirds were the closing act. So Jimmy, of course, played with the Yardbirds, but I can't remember who the middle act was.
Richie Havens.
No, God, oh God, God love Richie Havens.
My mom loved Richie Havens.
But I think he had some kind of deal with Bill Graham, because I mean that guy just was there too many times going, oh your mama. But there was so much music there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's a Hellwood Hall, isn't it?
It sure is. Sure is.
You know, it's kind of, you might think I'm aiming low, but I'm thinking when first concert I ever saw was the Hammond Civic Center. Captain Beyond back in 1972 or 73. It was a great show. And so many good shows because I went to Hammond Tech right next door for high school. And then I'd be over there all the time on Fridays, Saturday. All these touring bands would come from Chicago and play there. It was so cool. There were so many big names there. And it was such a great place, great memories. And we actually got to play there. And when was that?
8 years ago, 219.
Yeah, the 219 Hammond. And it was that was really cool playing on that stage in the place. It just hasn't really changed at all. And one place where I saw so many shows where I was looking at those bands and going, man, it's got to be great to be there. And I got up on that stage and played. So
I would go with that too, actually, but it would have to be like in 1975-ish when the whole place the lights would go down and just smoke.
Yeah, boy, I got smoky in that place.
The first band I saw was the Raspberries. That was there too, and it was like that place. I think there's a nostalgia for that time because we were of that age, and just that would be a cool place to play in that time frame.
Yeah.
And back then when they used to mix bills that didn't necessarily have anything to do with each other, you know, back in those days where I saw the Jam open for Angel and Frank Mahogany Rush. Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. And the Jam got booed off stage, and I think, what a waste. I was glad I could see him for 3 songs. Yeah. Because it was like, whoa, this is nothing like has ever passed through the Civic Center.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that would be a cool place, actually, in that time frame. Nice one. Maybe we can be in a band together.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
At the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go higher up. I'm going to say Chicago Theater.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one, too. I would go with him.
Yeah. Sometimes I hear that a theater like a Rialto, Chicago Theater, I've had people say that. So, and I've heard talk of aiming low. I've people say, "Hey, J.J. Kelly's," whatever. Doesn't matter. But
I got to play Chicago Theater, and that was a thrill. That was.
I got to play J.J. Kelly.
I did too.
Who? When?
Big Guitars. We opened up for Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
But you played all kind of places.
This guy's been
I've played a lot of places.
When I asked you before, Chris, you said Royal Albert Hall.
Royal Albert Hall, Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. Yes.
Red Rocks.
Mm.
And the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It'd be great. Yeah. You know, I've played some great. I've done the Greek.
Yeah.
Civic Center.
But back in the day, it would have been cool to play the amphitheater,
Yeah.
the International Amphitheater. You know,
I only
barn.
saw 2 shows there. Yeah.
which I saw shows. Yeah, you know, just a cavern of
Yeah.
doom.
The
You know,
amphitheater-
Aragon would be cool. I think it would be cool to play a show in the ballroom. You know,
the
never did it.
amphitheater was like a bigger version of the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like
Yeah.
that's how it felt
yeah,
at the Civic Center there.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mini civics.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carnegie
Right.
Hall, obviously Royal Albert Hall
Yeah.
would be pretty flipping cool.
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl would be
Mm-hmm.
flipping cool. And Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would be next up? What's on the horizon for Nomad Planets? Whether it be a week from now, a month from now, any shows, anything you'd like to spotlight, any other announcements?
We have our annual show that benefits the Food Bank in Northwest Indiana come up on November 15th at EAT in downtown Hammond, and it's with the Unstoppables again. We've done that show with them, I think, 3 times now, and it's a really nice mix. You know, those guys are so great and great musicians, good songs, and it's a good turnout. It's for a great cause coming out. It's $10 plus at least one food item. And as far as the band, we're always writing, always recording. We got new stuff that we're doing. We're going to listen to some stuff and see how it's going tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right.
It's cool. Well, when we practice here every Tuesday night, John's in the studio, records everything we do. So if we get a little groove, get a little snippet of a good idea or a whole song, it's there, because otherwise we'd forget it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to record it. 'Cause
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, what were we doing last night? That was really cool last week. I have no idea. You play things back from the week before. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of remember that. And then luckily it's there, so we can work on it.
And the title song of the last CD, Abicu, that song was one of those deals. It was just
Yeah.
a snippet, and we're like, hey, there was that one song, and we knew you had it in the system, and so we'd search through, and then one night it was, there, it's that one right there, and then boom, that became
Amazing.
Abicu.
Yeah.
Phil probably had to do, you know, the walk.
Yeah. Well, that album was one of my Christmas presents from my lovely assistant, my wife, Maureen. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You mean CEO?
CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of the Hometown Musician Spotlight. And until next time, peace, everybody.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace and love.